We're refining where we see the greatest opportunity for defence industry in Western Australia as we go. I am very sensitive to concerns that might be held within defence quarters that there might be a political push towards spending in priorities that they don't have, or bringing forward expenditure in areas that might not relate to their priorities. So we're not going to be necessarily pushing against any concern or creating any concerns for defence players. We are looking, however, to argue with the federal government for support of a research hub in Western Australia. We see that as something that we could use to leverage off that capability that I already referred to that resides here in our universities and in our small to medium enterprise sector, which has been developed in working with the commodity sector, with offshore oil and gas, with the mining sector, very demanding environments. We have incredible autonomous vehicle knowledge. We have a vast array of small to medium enterprises that are doing a really solid work, a world-class work in a whole range of fields that can be applied to defence. They're not solely reliant upon a handout from Canberra, but they can apply their capability set and their skills to developing equipment or capabilities that solve problems for our Defence Force and provide us with potentially an export opportunity. And that's what we in Western Australia are focused on. Some other places they might be entirely reliant upon the defence dollar to survive. Their particular industry is pretty constrained in its ability to export. We are very focused on creating an export opportunity, and it suits our skill set. It suits what Western Australia's competitive advantage is. Well, what we've probably refined what we're going to do since the election, the advisory board was a proposal that we'd arrived at looking at South Australia. We saw South Australia's defence advocacy, or advocacy on behalf of its defence industry, as the gold standard. I think it's undeniably been successful, and you will now see that every single state has adopted some of the practices of South Australia. Every state has in fact every state and territory now have advocates. They have a structure to advise their governments on defence matters. That is all replicating to some extent what South Australia have. We've looked at it, and in office, we've come to the conclusion there's probably other ways of providing the same, or if not a better outcome, by, for instance, approaching individuals with specific skill sets when we need them. So we might engage people on retainers to be used when we need them, rather than have a board sitting around and meeting on a regular basis and not necessarily applying all of their particular skill sets, each individual applying all of their particular skill sets to every task. We think that there might be an opportunity instead to engage specific individuals who have a very high quality skill set when we need them. And that might be a much more efficient way of achieving the same outcome. Under the previous state government, there was a vacuum of leadership. That is no longer the case. And so I have a very clear message to anyone who, from any tier of government or any individual or any industrial player, with respect to defence matters in Western Australia. If you want to engage in defence industry in Western Australia as a subject that you want to participate in the debate, you want to look towards opportunities, or you want to propose any initiatives, the state government is providing leadership. We have a Defence West office. They are the conduit through which you operate. Anyone else is a bit player and are not leading the state debate. Our contribution, our strategy, our policy is driven by the state government, and we are the ones that are providing the leadership. So my message to anyone else is, if you want to participate, you go through Defence West and you talk to the state government, and we provide the voice for the state. So anyone else is not talking on behalf of the state. It's an unfortunate consequence of, in my view, of what we inherited from the previous government, in that there wasn't really leadership, there wasn't really a defined role for the state at that time, and so other people filled the void. There's no need for that anymore. with respect. I'm thankful for people having enthusiasm and willingness to participate and support defence industry in WA, but we're the state government and we provide the leadership.